Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. A little bit of freak folk up in this piece in the form of their minor logic hazy pale ale. Yeah, uh, this might be my first freak folk review. Actually, I think I've done one before. I should check that before I hit record. Anyway, we're going to dive into this sucker. It's a hazy pale. I looked it over. They don't give you an ABV on here, so maybe we'll guess and look it up towards the end for fun skis. It is a Mutweka and Wawaka hopped. So Southern Hemisphere hops. Oh, there is an ABV on here. I did not see it. I just found it now at 5.7% hazy pale. This comes courtesy from my boy Vinny. We ended up meeting up at a brewery close to me, and he's like, "Hey man, got some beers for you." And he goes up to Vermont and runs in I don't know what it is. It's not a marathon, but um, some kind of a running thing at the Alchemist. And he was just up there. So he brought back some jams and was kind enough to give me some. Thank you very much, Vinny. Very cool to get this kind of freak folk because it can be a little bit troublesome to find because they don't really have like the brewery they can go into and get stuff, I believe. So anyway, label wise, I actually really like it. It's like negative space wood etching on this. Very much almost like Doomsday E kind of vibes to it. So yeah, here we go. Wait, what do we have over here? Brewed free flow beer water. Okay. Did I miss something? Anyway, and as far as a haze goes, you're talking, 5% hazy. That looks the part of world class haziness. Index finger, barely off weight head, super creamy, kind of pillowy top to it, with this just not ultra turbid butternut squash turkey gravy kind of vibe to it, but very much spot on haze with that rich orange glow and almost beaming, little bit less opaqueness on the edges. It looks all the part, that rich orange. So let's give it a whirl. Let's give it a huff. Mm. Yeah, very much like tropical fruits for me. I mean, almost every hazy, almost not all, but almost all of them are going to have kind of some kind of citrus component to it. That's the case here. I'm getting a lot of pineapples of late. I'm getting a tons of here, but really when I talk about tropical fruits, it's those core tenants, that mango, papaya, kind of kiwi kind of vibes. Not super sweet. At least a precursor to sweetness on the nose. You're talking about a five and change hazy. You're not expected to be overtly sweet, but it bursts at seams of those fruit flavors or aromatics, I should say. Yeah, just gobs and gobs of it. You give this beer to me as a mystery beer, I crack into it as kind of when I smell it. I'm thinking high sixes, low sevens on this as far as impact, at least aromatically. So it has all those bits and pieces that I really love when it comes to hazies, which is give me that high ABV kind of big punchiness, but at a low ABV scale, at least on the aromatics. And it just is that fruit on fruit on fruit, tropical fruit leaning with all the other bits and pieces floating around in there. Man, now with New Zealand hops, you're talking about Motueka, not so much Rawaka, but I remember Motueka being really scaling the onion, not really getting any of that on here. It really is just all the fruit are belong to us, but it could change in the taste. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's a gigantic beer for five and change, man. I still believe you give this to me as a mystery beer. I think this is high sixes. Mm. It's bursting at the seams, hot presence, fruitiness, the mouthfeel, which is the hardest thing to really do at low ABV. Once you start to dip into those fives, you get lower and lower. It's really, really, really tough going to get the mouthfeel right on these beers. In this thing, again, I'm not going to confuse it with those hazies that you can put a spoon in, stick straight up, that kind of stuff. Man, it's got a beautiful, ultra beautiful mouthfeel for 5.6 or 5.7%. So mouthfeel is great. Big hot presence as far as a greeniness. It doesn't come off again like a scaly oniony thing. It doesn't really come off as like ultra hot pellety. But it does have this hot green to it. It adds this cool dimension, adds this kind of little bit. It stops short of being even close to being anything hop burny, but it has that kind of hop saturation to it that it makes you kind of think of that level of hop dosage. On the other side of things, it follows true to itself from the nose to the taste. It is all the tropical fruit arbor. Now, sure, you're getting a citrus, sure, you're getting a bit of that pineapple, but then it is those other bits and pieces. When you combine that tropical fruit high level dosage with that hop greenness, you're just getting this assault of hoppiness at a really low ABV level. This is what I love when it comes to beer, or should I say, when it comes to hazies. I know I'm team low ABV all the way. I really enjoy when you give me that big presence in low ABV. And, a lot of people want that different. A lot of people want the opposite. They're like, man, I want my 10.5% triple IPAs to drink like a 6% hazy. I am the complete opposite. And this is one of the best ones I've ever had to represent that. It just shows, again, kind of regurgitating the same thing over and over again. Just this really, really epic level. Again, five and change. That's where this really blows my mind. You get this at 7% from world class haze producers, and you're getting it at five and change. Just this saturation of hop green without being burny. This big run the gamut citrus to the tropical fruit, but having the tropical fruit be the star of the show and be bursting, but without being over the top. There's a slight touch of sweetness here, so maybe the slightest bit of residual sugar, microns of under attenuation, but I think it needs to be there because of how green and bittering this is. But it's not sweet by any stretch of imagination, and just showcases just an insane amount of hops in such a low ABV beer, which, if you think about it, man, when you go this hard and this fast and hop side of things on a hazy with low ABV, there's so much that can go wrong. If there's any kind of hop creep, any kind of weirdness on this, it's going to show through. This beer is already 2 weeks old. I'm reviewing this on the 25th. It is canned on the 8th. So it has a little bit of time in the can. So you get a little bit of negative oxygen there. You get a little bit of hop creep going on. Any of that stuff, it's going to show through on this beer. It is going to. And it's not. It's not. This is absolutely fantastic. One of the better hazies, end sentence, but also one of the best low ABV hazes. Now, sure, it's not sub 5 where I really want this stuff to reside, but you give this to me at 5.7% all day. All day I'm drinking this. This is absolutely fantastic stuff. Thank you very much, Finn, for sharing this. Very, very cool. And I don't even want what else you want me to say about it, man. It'd be the same thing, kind of talking about the same thing now. Feels beautiful. You know what I mean? The level of bittering and green with the way that kind of fruit kind of comes off with that touch of sweetness to it just to help balance things off. This is one of the better hazies that I've had as of late. Yes, Mount Rushmore status, regardless of ABV. It's one of the lower ABV hazies that I've had as of late. Yes, Mount Rushmore status. The only thing I can knock this for is that it's not 4.5%, which I think I'm okay with that. That would be an ultra nitpick and me being a little bit too being me. And just say this is world class, 100% top notch, fantastical. Sub 6% hazy IPA. Yeah. Done and done. We're done. That's it. That's all you get because there's not much more else to say because I want to drink this sucker. So let's talk about it. Like I said, Mount Rushmore status, yes, on multiple levels. Value and availability, don't know. For those that know, please let me know. And leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you like hazy IPA, period. If you like low ABV hazies, this is kind of, like I said, I think it would be on your Mount Rushmore, if not along with mine. And that's it. That's all you get. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the review. Massive Beers, if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massive for the podcasting stuff. And Freak Folk, have you visited their brewing place? Because I don't think they really have a place you can go get their beers. Have you had their beers? Have you had this beer? What's your favorite Freak Folk beer? All that fun stuff down below. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully, you're enjoying World Class Haze right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.